Welcome to this transformative hypnosis session. Before we begin, please ensure that you're in a quiet, comfortable place where you will not be disturbed. This session is designed to guide you into a deep state of relaxation, where your subconscious mind can absorb powerful suggestions. This hypnosis session is a tool for self-improvement and personal development. It is not a substitute for professional medical, psychological, or therapeutic treatment. If you have any medical or psychological conditions that could be affected by deep relaxation or hypnosis, consult a qualified professional before proceeding. Do not listen to this recording while driving, operating machinery, or performing any task that requires your full attention.
You don't need to fall asleep right away. In fact, you don't even need to do anything right now, except be here. And you are. Even if your mind is still active, even if your surroundings aren't perfect, there's something in you that's already starting to shift. Because the part of you that still sleeps easily, it's not the part that tries. It's the part that knows how to settle in quietly the moment it's safe to do so. And maybe, just maybe, it's noticing now that it is safe, or that it could be. So as you listen, however you listen, you might simply begin to notice something interesting. Not a big change, not something you have to name or track, just a small difference between a moment ago and now. Like the way your breath has started to drift just a little on the exhale, or how your shoulders, without being told, have softened by a half-degree. You didn't plan it that way, and yet, here it is. This doesn't need to be a performance. It's not a race. There's nothing to win and nothing to lose by resting. You can give yourself permission to not fall asleep, and let whatever happens be enough. And curiously, sometimes that's exactly what lets sleep happen. Because your body knows the way. It's taken you there before, in countless places and countless ways. Somewhere along the line it learned to drift off in beds, in cars, on couches, in classrooms. Sometimes in noisy places, sometimes in silence, sometimes with thoughts still moving around, or dreams beginning before sleep even starts. So there's no need to chase it. Sleep has always known how to find you. And as you listen now, perhaps with one part of your mind, or maybe with several, you can become aware of where you are without needing to change it. You can feel what you're resting on, hear whatever sounds are in the background, and let them be just that, background. Because right now, your attention can begin to turn in. Like walking into a quiet room and closing the door, not to block out anything, but to settle into what's inside. A kind of sanctuary inside your mind. A space that doesn't need to look any certain way. It might take the shape of a memory, or a dream, or just a feeling you can't quite name, but it's there, even before you fully imagine it. And the longer you rest there, even if it's just a flicker at first, the more it begins to take shape. You might not need to build it. You might just remember it, or discover it, as if you'd been there 1,000 times before. And in that space, there's no urgency, no tasks waiting, no expectations. Just soft quiet, and the comfort of being allowed to rest. Maybe deeply, maybe not yet, but beginning. And so, right now, if you haven't already, you can just give yourself permission to begin. Not to sleep, necessarily, not to reach for anything, but to let go of reaching. To notice what's here, and to follow whatever comes next. It might be a sensation, it might be an image, or just the absence of needing to decide anything at all. Because sleep isn't something you do. It's something that happens when there's nothing left to do. And that may be happening right about now. There's something that begins to happen when you stop needing to notice anything at all. And even now, it's possible that noticing has already started to fade. You might still be aware of the space you're in, or the surface beneath you, or of the breath that's been moving gently in and out of your body without ever needing permission. And those things can stay just as they are, because they don't get in the way. In fact, they might help you ease in. You don't have to close your eyes unless they've already begun to grow tired of staying open. And even if they are closed, it's not because they were told to do so, but because they've decided it's easier that way. Softer, lighter, like curtains falling, shut in a room that has always been meant for sleeping. And from here, there's a kind of downwardness, not physically, at least not in the usual sense, but a sensation of something within you beginning to loosen, to descend, as if some part of your awareness is starting to float lower, like a leaf drifting down through the still air. Not quickly, not all at once, just gently, predictably, without effort. And you can follow it, or let it follow you. There's no rush. Sleep never rushes. It simply arrives when enough of you has allowed the rest of you to go quiet. Maybe you've had an experience of lying still and feeling your thoughts begin to stretch out, like a shadow lengthening at dusk. First slow, then slower, then gone. And there's something curious about that time. That moment just before sleep when everything starts to feel both very far away and very near. When even the sound of your own breath can feel like someone else's rhythm, gently rocking further and further down, as if you were descending a spiral staircase carved into soft velvet, each step winding slowly onward, deeper and deeper, toward a center that only reveals itself as you approach it. You don't have to see every step. Your body knows the way. It's walked this path before, and with each quiet breath, you're already taking another step downward. Or maybe it's more like the ground is rising up to meet you, so that all you have to do is rest. You may notice how each part of you begins to check out, one at a time. The way your arms can feel less involved now, less needed, as if they're settling into the surface beneath them like warm sand accepting what lies upon it. The muscles in your face, your jaw, your forehead, even the tiny ones around your eyes. They're not holding anything. They're not resisting anything. They're just letting go. There's something so natural about this moment. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be deep right away. But it is deepening already. Some people imagine themselves being slowly wrapped in warmth, like being tucked in by the air itself. A stillness that's not silent, but full, like the hush right before the snow begins to fall. And even if there are sounds around you, they can become part of that hush, as if each sound, instead of waking you, is simply a sign that you are still here, still aware enough to drift further in. And it's okay for part of you to still be listening, even now, because some part of you always listens, even when the rest of you is fast asleep. And that listening part, it knows when to release the reins. It knows when the mind has said enough for one day. It knows how to guide you down, softly and surely, to that place where the mind becomes quiet and the body begins to dream. And as you continue to descend, whether by steps or soft waves or something you don't even have to name, you might notice the distance growing between one thought and the next, between one breath and the next. And in that space, there's nothing you need to hold, no roles you need to play, no decisions to make. Just the quiet recognition that something inside you is already sleeping. Not the whole of you, not yet, but enough to know where this is heading. And from here, you can allow the rest of you to follow. Because this is a path with no resistance, only rest. And rest knows how to carry you the rest of the way. You may begin to notice something curious now. That it's getting harder to remember exactly what it was I said just a few moments ago. Not because it wasn't interesting, but because your mind is choosing what to hold and what to let go. And the more it lets go, the easier it becomes to drift. To drift in ways that feel like soft forgetting, like pages turning in a book you're not trying to read, just watching, one after another, fade into the story itself. And maybe there is a story, maybe not the kind with a clear beginning or an end, but the kind that just opens, like this one. There's a traveler walking a quiet path just before nightfall. The sky is painted in dusky blues, and the earth beneath their feet is soft with a memory of sun-warmed stones. They aren't in a hurry, they aren't even sure where they're going, but each step feels easier than the last. Each sound, wind in the trees, a distant bird call, the hush of twilight, seems to whisper something gentle. You're getting closer. The traveler sees a light ahead, faint and flickering. It's a small inn, cozy, tucked behind a grove of old trees. The door is open. A fire inside crackles softly. And as they step in, they find a room waiting. Not just any room, but their room, as if it's always been ready. A bed with thick blankets, a low lamp with golden light, the kind of place where the outside world no longer matters, and sleep, in that moment, isn't something they try to find. It's already there, waiting. And as the traveler lies down, the dreams begin even before their eyes fully close. Dreams inside dreams, thoughts turning into images, images dissolving into something deeper. And while part of you may be listening, another part might already be walking into that end, or remembering your own version of that place, or drifting somewhere else entirely. Because there's no right way to do this. No need to follow every word. You might catch some, you might let others float by. And it's okay to feel as though you are missing parts. In fact, the parts you miss may be the ones that go deeper. The mind loves stories, but sleep loves patterns that repeat until they stop repeating. Waves, wind, breath. You've felt it before. The moment something shifts, the moment when thoughts stop making sense. When one thing turns into another for no reason at all, and somehow it feels right. You think of a field, then a spoon, then a bird in slow motion, and none of it needs to connect, because this isn't about connection. It's about release. So here's a little game your mind can play, one that doesn't have a goal but works all the same. Just for a moment, think of something soft that starts with the letter B. A blanket, a balloon, a breeze. Then something else this time with the letter D. Driftwood, dandelion, dusk. And then something round with C. Candle, cup, cloud. You don't have to get them all. You don't even have to finish the alphabet. Just let the mind wander from one to the next without trying to make a sentence. Because random things, especially peaceful, gentle ones, can give the brain a kind of quiet to-do list. Just enough to distract it, just enough to let sleep slip in through the side door. And if no images come, that's perfect too. Even trying and not trying become the same thing here. Effort fades, meaning fades. You're just drifting now, between words, between moments, between the space where sleep begins and time stops needing a name. And while one part of you may wonder how deep this will go, another part has already passed that point. The moment passed, and the moment it was considered. And in that space you might feel something gentle happening, a kind of dimming, not darkness exactly, but like when a candle flickers lower, and the shadows grow longer. And you can't quite tell where the room ends and the dream begins. Maybe your body feels heavier now, or lighter, or just not quite as present as it was, like something that's beginning to blur, soften, dissolve. because awareness doesn't disappear all at once. It floats away in layers, something with sound, something with feeling, sometimes in silence. And however it's happening for you now, it is the perfect way for it to happen. There's no countdown here, no right number to reach, just the gentle pull of gravity drawing you down and in. The thoughts that show up now, they're like wisps. You can watch them go by without needing to name them, without needing to finish them. Some thoughts arrive in full and leave half finished. Some arrive as colors, some as shapes, and some don't need to arrive at all, because the deepest rest doesn't begin with the thought. It begins when thought decides it can rest too. And maybe that's already happening now, or already happened, or simply doesn't need to be known. Because this place, where stories open and patterns repeat, and thought drifts and dissolves, there's nothing to do, nothing to manage, nothing to solve. Just the slow, steady rhythm of a mind that's remembering how to let go, and a body that's ready to follow. There's a point where you stop wondering whether sleep is coming and realize it's already begun. Even now, there's no need to fall asleep because part of you already have. The part that notices the quiet between words, the part that releases tension without needing to be asked, the part that hears sounds and lets them pass without meaning. And if there's anything left to do, it's not to try, it's to allow. Because the moment you allow the body to feel safe, the mind softens. And when the mind softens, sleep knows its time. Maybe you've already noticed a sense of warmth in the room around you, or perhaps that warmth is inside you, like something being poured gently into your chest, then flowing outward, spreading through your limbs, a steady warmth that deepens with every breath. And that warmth carries with it something else, a permission, unspoken, to drift, to rest, to disappear for a while, and return renewed. You don't have to choose it. It's already choosing you. And if there are any sounds, sensations, or thoughts passing through, you might find they're not interruptions, but invitations, each one encouraging you to release even more. As if every passing sound outside your body deepens the quiet inside your mind. Even your breath has taken on a slower rhythm now, as though it's syncing up with something deeper, something ancient, something that's been with you since the very first time you ever fell asleep. You might not remember that moment, but your body does. It remembers what it feels like to be held by the night, to be surrounded by warmth and safety, to sink into soft darkness, where the world fades and dreams begin. You've been here before, Not this exact moment, but something like it. A time when nothing was expected of you, when no one needed anything from you, and the only thing you had to do was rest. And maybe that place still exists. Maybe it's not a place at all, just a sensation, or a memory that lives in your bones. That old familiar comfort of being small and still and softly, deeply asleep. And whether you drift into that feeling now or feel it drifting into you, you don't have to follow it. It already knows the way. Let your mind rest on something simple now. A single candle flickering, glowing dim. A heavy curtain slowly dragging closed. A feather floating downward through a field of dusk. Each image a doorway, and each breath a key. There is no effort in this. There is no trying. Sleep is not a task. It's a surrender. And the more you surrender, the easier it becomes, because your body already understands, and your mind is beginning to forget just enough to remember what sleep feels like. No need to explain it, no need to hold on. Just let each part of you arrive in its own timing, at that soft, still center where everything slows down, where time stops knocking, where thoughts stop circling, and where you simply are. There's nothing more to understand. There's nothing more to be. You are safe. You are still. And sleep is already happening. Now. Or a moment ago. Or maybe in the next gentle breath. And as the final piece of waking, let's go. And now, there's really nothing more that needs to be said, nothing more your mind needs to hold, and nothing at all left for your body to do. Because sleep is no longer a direction. It's a place you've already reached, or are reaching, or simply resting within, without even needing to know it. Some part of you may still be aware, and that's perfectly fine. Even the part that listens can rest, like a candle still flickering in a corner of the room where the lights have already gone out. And as the words continue, softly, faintly, you may find you don't need to hear them, because they're not meant to be followed anymore. They're simply there, like a hush of distant waves at night, like the last few footsteps echoing as someone walks away, leaving you alone with the quiet, a quiet that deepens, even after the footsteps fade. Maybe you remember the sanctuary, or the traveler, or maybe they've dissolved entirely. It doesn't matter. What matters now is this. Whatever part of you is still aware can choose to rest, or to sleep, or to drift somewhere in between, and let the rest happen naturally. You don't have to follow anything anymore. You can let the words trail off, like threads being released, floating in the dark. And as they float away, as even this moment begins to blur, you might notice there's only stillness now, only warmth, only this steady rhythm of breath and rest, and nothing else to carry. No endings, no effort, just now. And now. Even that can fade.